From the heart of America to the corners of the globe, welcome to Voices of Distilling, powered by the American Distilling Institute. Unearth the stories, the passion, and the faces behind every drop. Dive deep into the world where tradition meets innovation. With me, your host, Ronnell Richards. Let's tap into the spirit of distilling, where every voice is unique, but the heart remains the same. Let the journey begin.
My name is Ronnell Richards, and I am your host. We're here live at the American Distilling Institute's 20th anniversary conference, and this has just been such a treat, such a joy to meet with so many of our wonderful distillers in our community. And today, I'm excited to introduce you guys to Brad Abramson, who is with Tides Distillery and is one of our most recent winners of our ADI research grant. So I can't wait to dig into that and talk about that.
Yeah,
but
thank you for having me here.
So why don't we start with that really quick? Actually, before we do that, I got this thing that I like to do where it's called little known facts.
Okay.
So I want to see if I can stump you with one of these little known distilling facts.
I'm sure you can.
You look like a smart guy, though. I don't know. I think you'll get this.
So just to be clear, this is kind of my first soiree into distilling, so I'm probably not the best facts person on distilling. But
well, it's more like fun Jeopardy like facts that you will never ever use. But you know what? You know, you'll be having a cocktail sometime, and you'll be like, "Hey guys, did you know this?"
Okay.
All right, here's the fact. A gin distilled with a certain level of impurities can glow when exposed to sunlight. The phenomenon is called the blue hour. Did you know that?
I did not.
Whoa! I'm batting 1,000 on this show for these interesting facts. So I thought it would just be like, oh, Ronnell will say some stuff, and then the guy will be like, duh. Yeah, I know that,
Yeah,
of course.
Of course I know that.
Yeah, of course. Doesn't everybody? But make me feel stupid. But you didn't.
Yeah.
Maybe you did, and you're trying to feed my ego a little bit. You don't want me to feel bad.
No.
Okay.
Never.
All right. So, Brad, let's talk about the research grant. So you're a recipient this year. If you wouldn't mind sharing with our audience what that's all about.
Yeah. So this all kind of came about is I had this idea where I would basically try and offset some of the fresh water used in the distilling industry with using ocean water in the fermentations for it. And so I did a little proof of concept at my house. I reached out through the San Diego Distillers Guild saying, hey, does anybody know how to distill? And I got a lot of interest. One of the first people that helped me out was Sean from Shadow Ridge Distillery in San Diego. And so he did the first kind of proof of concept, and he's like, hey, I know about this research grant from the American Distillers Institute. You should apply for it. So I applied, and here I am. So I basically got the grant to kind of investigate what is happening that might be different when we use seawater instead of fresh water.
That's so cool. And a lot of our members may not be aware of this. So thank you for sharing that. I want to know, though, what sparked your interest? Because you're a new entrant into the industry, but what sparked your interest in this whole thing to begin with?
So the idea kind of came about when I was finishing up my PhD at Michigan State University, where basically in the Midwest, there's plenty of fresh water. Michigan is surrounded by a bunch of Great Lakes, so nobody talks about water scarcity
Literal
there.
Great Lakes, yeah.
Literally Great Lakes, yep. You go to them and you can't see to the other side, so it looks like an ocean.
Yeah.
And when I moved to San Diego, pretty much all anybody talks about is drought and where water's coming from and how much fresh water is used and how much you shouldn't water your lawn and how conservation is the key. And I'm like, well, in the distilling industry, everybody uses fresh water in their large mashes, so hundreds of gallons at any point. And why don't we just use ocean water? The process of distillation separates ethanol from water. It can also separate water from salt. So why not just link the two and make a seawater alcohol?
Wow, that's pretty cool, man. And that's that's what we're about at ADI. One of the things we're about is, innovation, right? And so we're education, inspiration, and innovation. And so it's cool to hear someone like you that's new in the industry doing something, just pushing those boundaries. So this is your first conference that you've been to.
This is my first conference.
And so what's it been like for you thus far?
I mean, it's been amazing. I honestly didn't know what I was getting into when I came here.
Yeah.
Part of the research grant is Eric asked me if I would like to give a presentation on what I did. And I'm like, yeah, I would love to. So now I'm a little more intimidated. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be, but
Yeah.
so it's been amazing talking to vendors because I'm right now we're a distillery and name only. So we're going through the planning. We're talking to vendors like, oh, what do we need to actually start a distillery? And getting the input from everybody here has been absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Everybody is so friendly and so supportive and always offering wisdom. It's been incredible.
Yeah. So your experience thus far with the ADI community, just tell me a little bit more about that. Just clearly you've worked with the ADI team, but just as you've come to the conference and engaging with other distillers and suppliers, what has that been like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the ADI members reaching out and basically telling me how all of this worked and saying like, oh, here's a grant that will fund you to do your research.
Yeah.
Like, you should do that. And then going through and all of the members that have different expertise being like, oh, well, have you considered looking at this with your grant or doing this? Or, hey, we will offer support and do the analysis on your samples for you if you would like. And so everybody's just been offering their support in any way they can.
That's
Even
cool.
even on the expo floor, I'll talk to some of the exhibitors there, and they'll say, "Oh, well, maybe we can send you a sample and you can test this out because you have a cool idea, and we'd like to be supportive." So it's been amazing.
So what would you say to anyone out there that's like on the fence? They're like, I don't know about ADI. Like, what would you say to them?
I mean, join the community. Ask questions. Nobody's told me I've had a stupid question yet, even though I'm sure I have had plenty.
Yeah.
Apply for the research grant. I wouldn't be here without it. And it's a great way to kind of break into a community that you don't know anything about, and they're phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I want to move into some rapid fire questions. Just a
Okay.
couple, whatever comes to your mind when I say these things. Okay. It's fun.
Elephant. Oh, sorry.
Elephant. You get it. Okay. All right. We're gonna go with your desert island spirit. What is it? You're on a desert island and you can't get off. You're Gilligan and you got one spirit to enjoy. What is it?
I guess probably whiskey.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't-
Any specific? We're gonna go bourbon. We're gonna rye.
Hopefully, whiskey that's made from seawater.
Because
Because that should be
there we
plentiful
go.
there.
All right, on brand. I like that. Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna give you one more.
Are you trying to pick the toughest one?
I'm trying to pick one that I feel like is difficult for you. How about an easy one? We'll just go, because this is going to tell me a little bit about you. I've always thought that what people drink, it says a little bit kind of, it tells us a little bit of who they are. So, okay, are you a neat, on the rocks, or cocktail?
Yes. So it really depends on the day.
Yeah.
Right. Tough day at work. It's usually neat. Little hot outside, usually on the rocks.
Yeah.
And feeling kooky, tiki cocktail.
All right.
So I have a little bit of a cocktail bar at my house, and I actually have a little book now that I'm starting to keep, which is like my own cocktail creations. My wife gave me a cocktail book, and she's like, fill it up.
Nice.
Make something new.
So you like take pictures of each of your
I
cocktails
do. I
as
have
well?
a couple pictures. Some have 151 flame on top. This actually started during the pandemic when my wife and I were basically just watching movies all the time. And she's like, make me a themed cocktail. And I'm like, okay. So one of them is like a flaming blue vodka-based cocktail for the Hercules Disney movie.
Nice.
Because
Okay.
Hades is like a flaming blue guy. So, fun things like that.
Yeah, I think that's what I like about cocktails. Just like they're more whimsical, like it's a lot of, it's fun. I'm kind of leaning into cocktails more lately myself. But, like you, it changes depending on the year and how I'm feeling.
Yeah, depending on the day. Right?
Yeah, the day. Yeah. So tell me, what's next for you? So you have this research grant, you're getting things kicked off. What's next for you, Brad?
So I'm here learning a ton about everything that we need to start a functional and successful distillery. So what we're trying to do right now is raise capital to basically be on our way and figure out kind of our business plan and where we're trying to go. Whether we just want to work with San Diego local distillers at this point and kind of create a product from there, or whether we want to create entirely new distillery. Obviously, I would very much enjoy having my own distillery on the beach right there so I can access seawater whenever I want. That's kind of a far dream at this point, but that's one. Or the other one is, when I think of seawater, I think of pirates. So having a distillery on a boat sounds pretty great.
That is pretty cool.
Right? Just right there with all the ocean water. But right now we're kind of figuring it out. We have our kind of name that we're going with, which is New Tides Distillery.
Yeah.
We have a logo and kind of on our path.
Man, well, so again, I just want to applaud you for your innovation.
Thank you.
And I am rooting for you, my guy. And I just want you to share with everyone that's watching and listening to this, what's the best way that they can connect, if they can reach out to you, if they want to support you, if they want to help you on your mission.
Yeah, so we have a website, newtidesdistillery.com. You can reach there. We have a section where you can contact us with anything. We also have a Instagram account, New Tides Drinks, so you can find us there. And
Awesome.
We're happy to talk about anything.
Awesome. And we'll have your contact information in the show notes as well.
Awesome.
Folks, so if you guys didn't hear any of that, you can read it. All right. It'll be in the show
link
notes.
below,
Click
sort of
the
thing.
link below, sort of thing, where you can connect with Brad. So again, Brad, thanks for joining us. And for those of you that aren't members of the American Distilling Institute, go to distilling.com. If you're an existing member, go to distilling.com. Make sure that you're getting engaged with the community and meeting just cool people like Brad. At the end of the day, it's all about connection, where we can get educated, we can inspire each other and get motivated by each other. Brad, thanks you again for hanging out with us. And I look forward to seeing each of you guys out. Everyone that's watching us, we want to see you at our next conference. If you weren't able to get here in Vegas, we're going to be in Baltimore next year. All right. With that said, thank you all for your time. Thank you for hanging out with us. We will see you on our next episode of Voices of Distilling.
Thank you so much.
As we conclude another episode of Voices of Distilling, we want to extend our deepest gratitude to you, our cherished listeners. Your support is the lifeblood of our show, and we are endlessly thankful for each and every one of you. If you've enjoyed our conversation today, please take a moment to rate and review our podcast. It truly helps others discover these spirited stories. And if you wish to further support our mission, consider becoming a member of the American Distilling Institute. As a member, you'll dive deeper into the world of distilling, gain access to exclusive content, be a part of our dynamic annual conference, and immerse yourself in a community where knowledge and passion converge. Visit our website, distilling.com, for more details on how you can benefit from membership and contribute to the vibrant tapestry of distilling. Until our glasses clink again, remember, every drop has a story, every voice a passion. Raise your glass and cheers to the heart of distilling. Hey, Voices of Distilling listeners. Let's talk about a little something that's at the core of every distillery. I'm talking about yeast. Not just any yeast, I'm talking about the brand of yeast from AB Biotek. Pinnacle Distillers yeast. Now, you and I both know that yeast is the unsung hero of distilling. It's not just about science. They believe in being partners in fermentation. They've got expertise across the board. Whether you're all about wine, a beer enthusiast, or like us, a fanatic for distilled spirits, they're part of the story your distillery is writing, part of the community that is pushing for the best and always eager to help you reach new heights with solutions and technical services that you need. So why settle for just any yeast when you can ferment with the best? Elevate your distilling game, make Pinnacle Distillers yeast your partner in fermentation today.